Okay, do you guys know how this game got freaking made? Because when I picked up Marvel Rivals, I was like, what the frick? For one, Disney allowed this to be made? Disney allowed this. Look at this. Okay, freaking Black Widow actually having amazing freaking form-fitting breasts and a freaking exosuit. You actually think that they were going to allow this to be made for some reason? Well, apparently so. I don't know what it is. Because if I go in here with you, okay, look at this freaking trash. And I'm going to soon transition into the gameplay, and you're going to see a little bit of the gameplay. But when I checked out this game, I was like, hold on a minute. The freaking women are hot? So, you know, I was looking at Black Widow and I was like, dang, those are some nice, thick, tight breasts. And I was like, dang, that is the Black Widow right there. Look at that anus, look at those legs. You're like, wow, this is a woman. This is a female. Now, this is the thing that really surprises me is that Marvel as a freaking franchise is just all about the queers, the gays, and the feminists. So a bunch of obese land whales with colored hair, a bunch of dudes who are twinks and they look like they might as well be women or something degenerate. I don't know what it is, but it is satanic. And then it's just for losers who are either thin or grossly out of shape or just disgusting and disfigurely in general. So we look at right now what is Marvel. It's a complete joke. Nobody wants to associate with it. But for some reason, this game has a bunch of sexy women in it. A bunch of women that you want to clap those effing cheeks. Look at Hela. It's like, dang. Look at those form-fitting breasts. Dang. You want to clap those cheeks. Instant impregnation. You're like, I'm not even questioning it. Then you got this chick named Magic. Who knows who the frick she is? But she looks like a freaking stripper whore. A hooker. And you're like, I'm down. I want some of this. Frick, man. So whatever it is that these developers did, apparently they hired a bunch of straight men to make this game. And then you got this chick too. She's looking pretty good. What the frick? It's like, why are the women looking so freaking attractive? Nice butt, by the way. Amazing rear end. And it's just like, I don't know why, but the women are super hot and attractive. And you know, whatever. Apparently, Peter Parker's got a freaking daughter, which is just gay and retarded. Peter Parker should have never had a daughter, and she should never carry on his freaking legacy. No, it is his freaking son. He was supposed to have a son. We all know it. And for some reason, instead of having a freaking son, he had a daughter. Now the daughter's carrying on his legacy. That's stupid. That's retarded. That's gay. No, Peter Parker should have a son, and he should be carrying on Peter Parker's freaking legacy. Stupid. But anyways, this chick happens to be a decent character in the game. Mantis is, yeah, whatever. She's not really attractive, but, you know, because they made her just bare minimum attractive, I would still clap those cheeks. And then you got Psylocke, which is this one chick that every guy and his freaking brother wants to clap the cheeks out of. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. This is the skin, though. Whoa. Everyone's purchasing this skin. I wonder why. Anyway, you got Squirrel Girl, who's really autistic, and for some reason, dudes are down bad for the autistic retard. I don't know what it is. She's got a little bit too much meat on those freaking bones. She's got to go hit a freaking gym, but whatever. These freaking cucks, they're freaking desperate, so whatever. Then you got Storm. Listen, I noticed something about this game. The white women do not have cleavage. For whatever reason, white women are not allowed to have cleavage and show extra skin. So it's kind of retarded. I don't know what it's about, but I'm just going to say this right now. Storm is one of the very few black women I would ever actually inseminate. This freaking look at her freaking cleavage. That is good enough to save a freaking village of dying African children. That's what we're talking about here. This woman absolutely impresses you with her freaking bust size, and then just the oh my god, the freaking anus. You can barely see it from here, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, that freaking anus can save an African village. That's all I gotta say. This woman is darn. She is so freaking sexy, bro. Golly, Storm is clap out of 10. Clap those cheeks, inseminate multiple times over. She also doesn't seem to be a ratchet hoe. Like you know most black women to be. Now, you know, this is the issue with a lot of modern women today, is that they all have tattoos. This woman does not have tattoos, and it just makes her even more attractive. Anyways, I would absolutely clap the living daylights out of her. Scarlet Witch is okay looking, although there's no exact cleavage for her, so I'm kind of fuming right now, and in fact, I'm kind of pissed off. But anyway, and then there's another. Oh, and then we also have a pretty disgusting character of the game. It's a race mixer. For some reason, we have Cloak and Dagger, whoever the frick this is. This is obviously a modern day character, and what it is just a race mixer character. That's all it is. She's race mixing with this random guy that she really would have no business getting with, but for some reason we have to ship an Aryan white princess female blonde woman with a black dude, which is just absolutely disgusting. I don't know what they were thinking, but they were like, oh hey, isn't it brave and beautiful that a black man is with a white woman? No, that's not brave and beautiful. That's actually incredibly disgusting. What the frick were you guys thinking when you made this game? But anyways, the white woman looks freaking good, bro. Look at freaking, her name's Tandy. Okay, yeah, they say freaking Tyrone and Tandy are inseparable. Yeah, okay, I get it. BLM, blah, blah, blah. White women should be with black men. Go screw yourself, liberals. I know what you're about. Yeah, you're gonna complain all day about freaking race, and then you sit here and you promote freaking dog trash filth like this. So it's disgusting. Tyrone should be with freaking Storm or some other black chick that looks good. Anyways, gay freaking horse crap. But Tandy's looking good. Her freaking rear end, if I could even get an angle. Okay, well, you can barely see it from here. But anyway, her butt cheeks, her booty cheeks look amazing. This woman is a sexy white woman, sophisticated white woman. I love her. All right, freaking screw this biatch. I'm freaking down bad. All right. And whatever. Anyways, nice breasts. Good job, Tandy. You're doing good work. You're doing the work for mankind. Wait, what does she look like? Oh, see again. This is what I'm talking about, man. The women cannot have freaking cleavage in this game. Look at Black Widow. What the? That is cleavage to you. And it even looks like they reduce her breast size. They look larger here because they are. Look at that. That's looking good. And then watch this. Obviously smaller. What the nice butt. Holy. Yo, I will do it. I will do it in through that thigh gap. Anyway. So, you know, it's so funny because we finally have a game that's made for straight men, made by Disney. And it's so funny that nowadays the gays and the retards, you know, the gays who are retarded, and also the feminists, for some reason they always have to shame men. They have to shame men for being straight, for liking the female body and desiring it when it's attractive, which means it's thin and it's not disfigured and obese, okay? For some reason, you have to be apologetic for finding women attractive, which is like, okay, so you want men to be gay. Anyways, white women in this game are not allowed to have cleavage. Even Black Widow. Look at that pathetic cleavage. You're calling that cleavage? I can barely see your breasts. You know what this should be? Just take off the top. What the frick are we doing here? Gay and stupid. This is pathetic. I don't know who came up with this, but I should see way more of her breasts. What the frick are we doing here? Again, freaking Scarlett Johansson had more cleavage than this in the films, and she should have had more. What the frick is this? I need to see the freaking cleavage. I don't see anything here. This is made for gay men, this skin. It's made for gay men. Screw you. So anyways, and let's just check out Storm and her skin. Oh yeah, this, again, why does she get nice butt? Why does she get cleavage, but the white women don't? Oh, that's right, because for some reason we need to be freaking horny for freaking black women and also black men with white women. I don't get that, but okay. Screw you, you freaking leftards. Regardless of such fact, Storm looks freaking good. I would clap those cheeks every day of the freaking week because you can fit a lot within that thigh gap. That's all I gotta tell you. That's one heck of a thigh gap, and I'm down bad. And nice breasts. But for some reason, again, what about the white women? Where's the cleavage for the white women? Okay, yeah, this chick, she's dressed with torn up pantyhose, so you know she's a massive raging whore. But then you got this. Look at this. She's in this freaking full suit of armor. She's dressed like a man. What filth is this? So anyways, this game is very pleasing to the eye. I'm very happy that it got made because most of The women are pretty attractive. Most of their outfits look good, I guess, question mark. What is this? Oh, blah, 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 blah. No way. No. And bro, she sounds like a country bumpkin. I'm just, no. Like, I had a raging fiendus for Black Widow, and then I see Squirrel Girl, and I'm like, I'm done. But you know what I do like is that at least the overweight chick in this game, the overweight character, which is just, it's disgusting. She should go on a weight loss journey. Anyways, at least she's like, they tried to tone her down a little bit. They're like, okay, let's not make her obese. Let's just make her, you know, a little bit thick, which is disgusting, but okay, whatever. So anyway, and you know, okay, you got Wolverine. By the way, they really respect within this game. It seems like to me, it's not so much about who do we know from the films, but it's more about what do we know from the comics. And I guess this is a better idea of what Wolverine is from the comics. You got Winter Soldier. He's all right looking. All right, we don't want to see that. Oh, I mean, the animations are good in this game, by the way. The transition scenes between the start of a match and into the match itself, they've got all these interesting comic book illustrations for the game. You can tell they put a lot of freaking hard work into this game. I love the style of this game. Again, when you boot up a freaking match, and I'm going to show you in a little bit here, I'm just going to finish talking about the characters, and then we're going to start talking about the game. But you know, I love this comic book illustration kind of graphical art style. It's so interesting. It's so unique. You don't see this in a lot of games anymore. A unique graphical style, and it looks great. The characters look great. They're honored in pretty much all the ways. Again, Thor is not so much Chris Hemsworth, but it's Thor. Like, it's a freaking Viking. By the way, this is the guy that should be with Tandy. The freaking Aryan princess, white woman, should be with this freaking... He should be clapping those cheeks, ramming Mjolnir up her freaking anus. But for some reason, nah, she has to be a race mixer instead because Brave and Beautiful. Punisher looks great. I mean, everyone. Frank Castle, that's hilarious. Anyways, Spider-Man looks great. Again, bro, look at these guys. And I love the illustrations. It feels like the characters. Again, look at Spider-Man, bro. Freaking amazing. And Rocket Raccoon looks good. I mean, everybody looks freaking good. And the voice actors for these characters are terrific as well. I don't know what it is. Some of these voice actors I have not heard in freaking years. And we're hearing them in this game. Okay, again, I have to say this like the beginning of the video. How did this game get made? How did Disney allow this to get made? Because so far, they've done so many things right. We have sexy women. The men look good. All the characters look good. Rocket Raccoon and the other characters look great. Jeff, whatever the frick this thing is, it looks great. And again, the voice actresses are okay. I mean, typically voice actresses are not really that... They're not really that impressive. I mean, Lilith from Diablo 4, that was a good voice actress. Like, she did a really good job. But mostly it was the men who did a really great job in Diablo 4 with the voice acting. But no, there's so many voices in this game that I'm like, I recognize these guys from so many games from like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and somehow they're showing back up. Like, voice actors that dude, in past videos, I sat there and I said, where the frick are these guys? There's a bunch of voice actors I miss. They're not around anymore. And dude, the personality, by the way, behind the voice actors, what they bring to all these characters, it's great. Again, the voice actors, though, they are voice actors that we've lost for a long time. And now they're, and I could go through it with you and be like, okay, I recognize this guy from that. I recognize this guy from there. So I don't know what it is, but it's awesome. Moon Knight, by the way, looks great. He's freaking awesome. Yeah, great design right here. Love it. They did a great job. Magneto looks great. His voice actor's good too. The voice actors for so many of these guys are just amazing. Let me see, and then let me show to you No More's he looks good for whatever the frick this character is. He looks good. So the characters just look good, man. Now I do look forward to them getting Deadpool into the game. We'll see how that goes, because honestly I feel like I like the fact that a lot of celebrities did not do the voices for these characters, and they found some really good voice actors for these characters. I do like that, but part of me feels like they need to make an exception on Deadpool and just do Ryan Reynolds, unless there's a guy that does a really great job. But I feel like they should just do Ryan Reynolds for freaking Deadpool, because, I mean, let's just face it. He put freaking Deadpool on a map, okay? Anyways, Loki looks good. So the characters just look great. And again, you're not hearing the voice lines. I don't know if you can in here. Bro, their freaking voice lines are great, okay? Oh yeah, and my brother, what kind of forever she made? Captain America, look at this guy. Yeah, he looks great. He's freaking awesome. Yeah, really great. I mean, the character designs are just terrific. Strange looks great too. So just look at these characters, man. They did such a great job with so many of them. And I think he also has a pretty decent voice actor. And Warlock, I don't know so much about this character, but you know, he looks good. Whatever I do know about Adam Warlock, it looks good. So outside of that, bro, I mean, oh, Iron Man looks pretty good too. So just really impressed with this game, the characters. Again, the voice actor for Tony Stark is actually pretty freaking good. There's just so many of these guys. Hawkeye looks great. So I love the fact that these characters are not so much what we recognize from the films, but instead they're these great expressions from, as I imagine, for most of them, from the comic books. And again, the illustrations are amazing. I'll show you Groot. Groot looks great. So it's just, man, it's impressive what they did. And I am so happy with the way that they made all these guys. Now, I don't really like the way they designed Hulk, because I don't want to play as Bruce Banner, which you do. But whatever, man. I mean, Hulk looks good though. He plays all right. It's just that you do play as Bruce whenever you get defeated as Hulk, which I'm like, why? Who cares? Iron Fist. Iron Fist is also in the game. So, but here's the thing I have to mention to you. I notice that, you know, you can see the characters and you can tell which of these characters are the characters that we all know and love. This is the reason why Marvel exists as a franchise. But then you see these other characters like Cloak and Dagger, and you can tell that these are the woke era of characters that they've been introducing ever since Marvel started turning woke and feminist. And you can tell, you know, Magic, Luna. Notice how all these no-name characters are all women? Notice that? Like Penny Parker. Most of the no-name characters are women. So, I mean, these are the characters that they're trying to push onto us and be like, oh, look, you know, these women, we put them in the comics and no one would, they weren't selling well and nobody cared. So we have to put them and force them into this game. It's like, well, if you make them sexy enough, guys will just be like, dang. But it's like, no one still cares. Nobody cares about these female characters. No one cares. And it's funny that, you know, Gamora's not in this, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But anyway, and Drax, and, you know, there's a bunch of characters. It's funny that these no-name characters ended up in the game somehow. But whatever. No one knows these characters besides the ones that we do know. It's just ridiculous. I mean, geez Louise, no, I'm not. I could get talking about the frickin' X-Men, okay? What the frick are we doing here? We got no-name characters. Now listen, sexy women, I'm happy with that. But it's like, again, we know why they want the sexy women in the game. Because they want to push these no-name female characters that they tried to make a thing during the feminist era of Disney, which they're still going through. But it's like, well, they're kind of trying to tiptoe back with this game. And it's just so amazing that we get characters like these, and obviously you can tell which ones are the woke inserts and which ones are the legitimate characters that people know, love, and remember. So anyways, man, I have to say it one last time. This game was such a freaking mistake. Whoever the freak made this game, it was totally not intended to come out like this, because it's actually good. The characters are good. The voice actors are terrific. Voice actors that were, you know, shuffled away into a freaking stack somewhere of freaking dead cards that no one picks up anymore. I don't know what it is, but great voice actors just find themselves back here in this, and they have great personality. They find themselves back into this game somehow. I am really amazed by how that even happened to begin with. But outside of that, you know, I don't know how the frick Marvel allowed this, you know, because I hate freaking Disney as a company. They can go rot in a grave with freaking Kathleen Kennedy, but especially for what they did to freaking Star Wars. F you, Disney, forever on that. But bro, we got a game like this out of Marvel, which is insane. Again, you're not hearing any of the voice actors. They're great though. They're really great. You should definitely check it out just for that alone. Some interesting skins too, by the way, for Captain America. Don't know what that's about, but pretty cool. So anyways, man, we're going to transition into some gameplay here. So now we find ourselves looking at some of the gameplay here, and this is the start of a match. This is me after playing a little bit of the game. I found that one of my favorite characters in this game is Thor. This guy's freaking is super powerful. He is totally going to get nerfed. I know that for a fact, but he's so much fun to play as. A lot of characters in this game, by the way, are very creatively thought out. Tons of fun to play in a lot of ways. I mean, I love the way that they designed Doctor Strange, for one. I mean, his teleport ability is actually one of the best implementations of a portal ability in a game. And for a high octane action game like this, they actually incorporated a teleportation ability where you set down 2 portals and you specifically select the direction going in and going out of the portal. It is hilarious, dude. Some people have done this thing where with his portal, if you spawn at the beginning of a game and you go through the portal, you know, as the doors open and you're walking out into the battle arena, right? You walk out into the door and he places down that portal, you will just fall off to the side of the map and die, right? Some people have done that. It happened to me once. It was kind of hilarious, also stupid, but whatever. You can do silly things with the Doctor Strange portals, which is kind of funny and nice. One other guy, he trolled with it. So he set down the portal at the starting gate, right? At the start of the match. And then he just, the portal went in and out to the other gate at the starting, at the spawn area. So we just kept on looping until the portal went down. So, and that took like 10 or 15 seconds. So, you know, just the implementation of a lot of these characters, some of them are obviously a lot of clones. I mean, that's just how it's going to work from Overwatch. Some abilities you're going to be like, yeah, that's Overwatch. Yeah, that's this game. It's that game, whatever. And, you know, before I say anything more about that, this game is a lot like a kind of hero fighter game like Overwatch, but it's not like Overwatch. It's more like Battleborn, if you remember that game. It came out around the time of Overwatch. I loved that game. But this reminds me more of Battleborn just a little bit, and this game. And then there is another game that this reminds me of, Gigantic, which also came out around the time of Overwatch and Battleborn. Gigantic was a really fun game. I missed that game. I had tons of fun with it when it came out. What was it, 11, 12 years ago now? So it was a great game, tons of fun, cool characters. And I think there was one other game that was of this nature. So I'm glad to see another game like this finally come out. Now, obviously, it's a mishmash of those games and Overwatch. So it's a synergy of all these separate games put together, and it's so much fun. Dude, I enjoyed this game so much just by picking it up. Like, I was like, holy crap, I actually got a little bit addicted to playing it for a little while. Now, I will say this. The longer and the deeper I got into playing this game, I did start getting a lot of rage. I think that the ranged characters are not really good. Oh yeah, by the way, that's my name in the game, Thigh Gap Go Uwu. Yeah, I love that freaking name. Especially for a game with women that are freaking sexy and have amazing thigh gaps. Go Uwu. So anyways, yeah, so, you know, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought just by, bro, I'm thinking about the thigh gaps. And then I'm thinking about the uwus. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff, bro. Freaking thigh gaps and uwus. My gosh. That's the kind of stuff that will just KO you for freaking days. Centuries. Anyway. So, you know, I'm so surprised that this game got made. And I don't remember if I said this, but the music is great in this game, by the way. It's a part of the thing. You know, it's a lot of music that sounds a lot like Final Fantasy music, but like a weird mishmash of like cartoon Final Fantasy in a weird way. Anyways, it's great music. The freaking soundtracks for this game are amazing. Again, the actually, I think we might see a transition scene right here in the footage. Let's wait. Okay, so we just started the match. And you will see, I hope I don't skip it here. So they'll show you these little like comic book cartoons. Okay, I kind of skipped it. They're very short. They're not that long, but they look great. Really well illustrated, animated. They just look, and they immerse you into the map that you're about to go into because they're always themed around the maps. Now, by the way, some of them are woke because we have a freaking black afro-haired Spider-Man. Oh, I'm sorry, Spider-Girl. In one of these freaking transition animations to one of the maps, right? No, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. No one else is Spider-Man. Once you make everyone a hero, once everyone's Batman, once everyone's Iron Man, once everyone is Peter Parker, then they're not, the point of the character is not that they're inclusive. The point of Captain America, of Bruce Banner, of the Hulk, is that they are exclusive, not inclusive. This is something that every retard and the freaking retarded sisters can't seem to understand, is that these heroes, for one, they are the very fiber and the very collective concentration of who that character is meant to be. Thor is Thor. He is a Nordic Viking dude with a hammer, and he goes and he freaking whacks people with lightning and stuff, okay? That is who the frick Thor is. And Thor is not a woman. Thor is not your little brother who's in a wheelchair. Okay, Thor is freaking Thor. These characters are not inclusive. They are exclusive. They are expressions of the ideal. And by the way, just because it is the ideal does not mean it is unattainable. It just means ideal by its most pragmatic sense. So again, you know, Black Widow is not all women. All women are not Black Widow. And they tried to do that with some of the more recent films, right? Well, you know, during the woke era, that is still going on. But, you know, maybe they're going to continuously tiptoe away from this woke era. I don't know. Still, screw you, Disney. Screw you. But outside of that, these characters, every single one of them, no, there's Black Widow, and that's it. Black Widow. The character is Black Widow. And that is the end of it. You can do things and be like, well, there's other Black Widows. Okay. But you need to make them other characters. Black Widow is Natasha, whatever the frick, with the nice breasts. Okay. That is Black Widow. Freaking A. And that's the issue, is that we keep on wanting to act like we can just shift in and out these people and act like everyone can be Groot. Everyone can be Rocket Raccoon. Everyone can be Star-Lord. Enough with this. So anyways, they push a little bit of that trash in this game. It's subtle, it's not overt, but it's there. It's there. The idea is there. Now, the writing for the dialogue lines to a lot of these characters is also pretty good. I actually, you know, because a lot of modern day games make terrible dialogue lines for their characters. It's heavily millennial, heavily zoomer. In this game, it's not so much that, it's kind of more just normal. It's like the dialogue that we got 10, 15 years ago in games that was, you know, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor, but it wasn't anything too, like, none of this cringe modern day communication patterns. So I was largely okay with it, you know, just like listening to the dialogue between characters. Now, you have characters like Thor. He says stuff like, I knew the value of war, but I also now equally know the value of peace. And they try to do these things where they push these egalitarian messages through their characters, because it's like, oh well, the kids, if we don't proselytize to the kids how they need to think and believe about life, then how are they going to know to live? You're not the Bible, bro. For one, you're not the Bible. And by the way, war is not a bad thing. War is a very good thing based upon certain conditions. Also, war can be a bad thing based on conditions. So what they try to do is they try to turn these freaking heroes. By the way, Thor in Norse mythology is not like a super nice guy. No, he's really a neutral dude. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. I don't think he's an anti-hero at all, but yeah, again, he's just a neutral dude. He's just a god. Oh yeah, and Thor also says this one line. A bunch of characters have different lines that I'm like, okay, bro, you know, the wokeness or the egalitarian in these freaking developers is showing through. He also says that, you know, I used to care about being worshipped, or no, he says, I used to value to be worshipped, and okay, I'm paraphrasing here. I used to value to be worshipped, but now I equally know the value of inspiring others. Again, egalitarian dog crap. Why do you think Thor, a demigod, why do you think he sits there and says, I used to care about being worshipped, and now I know the value of inspiring others, and that's all I live for? Why do you think Thor says that? Do you think it's because these writers are liberals and they want to sell the idea that everyone's equal, and that means that even a demigod, even though he's better than pretty much all men of mankind, he's better than everyone, for some reason that this dude is going to sit here and say, oh, I don't care about being better than everyone, I'm just here to inspire others. That implicitly details that Thor believes that everyone has the potential to be him, and so that it's not so important that I express myself. You know, there's a whole thing about, you know, you don't really want to be worshipped because, you know, that quickly falls into Satanism, but outside of the Satanism aspect, the point of the matter is that no, it makes no sense for the character to sit there and have an issue. I mean, for one, it's a non-topic. Thor should not even be talking about that, but whatever. Okay, but you know what? Fine, for Thor's character, it makes sense. It's just like the conceptual basis is something that a liberal wants to talk about, not so much what the character is supposed to talk about, but we can make it work with the freaking Thor. Okay, fine. You don't want to be worshipped, Thor. Well, again, the whole thing about Thor's character. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to just address this first point here. Let's just say this first and foremost. The reason why he says this line is because the writers, the liberal writers, have the idea that everyone's equal. And so because of that, they want to push the idea through a character that is clearly above all of men, clearly superior to pretty much every person alive. Thor, they want to push through this character the idea onto their young players and their beliefs that even when you're this jacked dude that's better than everyone around himself, oh, I'm not here to be worshipped. I'm just here or to be admired is really what it means. I'm not here to be praised for being better than other people and performing better than other people in any kind of avenues and aspects of life. No, I'm here to inspire because everyone's equal. Everyone has equal potential. And I'm just here to make everyone just as good as me, if not better. That is liberal thinking. No, here's the truth. There are people who are different. And there are people who are better and worse than other people. It's just that simple. These libtard writers want to push to these characters the idea that everyone's equal, that everyone's the same thing, that all it comes down to is inspiring people just so that they'll become like you. Here, I'm going to jump to the next match here. One of these matches, I freaking clap cheeks like a mother effer. Holy crap. Well, there's a good number of these, but the deeper I go into my ranked gameplay, or no, my ranked progression through the ladder, the more I start to struggle because there's a huge issue with the matchmaker. They put raging retards on your freaking team. But man, when you have a good team, you have a good time. If you're a good player with a good character, okay? And I will talk about that in a second here. But anyways, I have a huge issue with some of the writing just because they're trying to push stupid liberal talking points. Again, Thor, he is not equal to anyone. He should not be, no idea should be ever spoken about Thor that he cares about whether or not he is going to inspire others, because no one else is going to be Thor. And by the way, the whole idea of Thor having a freaking hammer is the fact that he's not like other people. He's actually better than other people. He became worthy of the hammer, which most people are not. It's supposed to be a really big deal that Captain America can use Mjolnir. Because most men, and I mean most, right? Except for one dude, Captain America, can have any kind of association to being considered like Thor. It's supposed to be a big deal, and you're having this character who's clearly better than other people. He says, I'm just here to inspire. Because anyone can be Thor. Anyone should just be seen just like me. Even though I'm clearly stronger, better, faster, maybe smarter at times. I mean, in Norse mythology, Thor was not really that smart. But anyways, he wasn't stupid, right? He was just average intelligence. Anyway. The point is, though, they're trying to push this stupid dog crap. The whole idea of Thor is that he is above most men. In the end of the day, he is the freaking Chad. And the only guy that's like associated to his caliber is Captain America, which means that Captain America is better than most men. Okay? These people are not inclusive figures. These are exclusive figures. And that's why we love them. End of the freaking story. So anyways, that's the issue with the mindset of these writers for this game. They are still freaking woke-tards. It's just that they've, either these guys are like not crazy activists, right? These might just be like less feral liberals. It could be that. Or they're just keeping their politics in the back pocket, whatever it is. Anyways, man, so just back to the characters. I enjoy the characters, the design of all the characters, and the way that they operate, the way that they fight. I like the creativity to the builds of each character. Every single one of them is largely unique from one to the other. Some of them are definitely weaker than others. Some are definitely way more OP, definitely overpowered compared to others, like Thor. Not so much Moon Knight. He has his moments where he's a pretty decent character, but like Scarlet Witch is definitely better than a good number of the damage dealers. We can go down the list. Oh, Hawkeye. Hawkeye's definitely stronger than other damage dealers because he can easily get a one shot. If he hits the head, he can get one shots all day. It's freaking ridiculous. I freaking hate it. Now, there is an interesting essence of balance to a lot of the characters, so they're not crazily overpowered, which is very interesting to me. But I have to say that characters like Storm are actually pretty underpowered. I think that Rocket Raccoon is absolute dog trash. The only good thing about him is that he can revive people, but I think that Spider-Man, I don't really like his, I don't like his character's build, but I've seen people wreck with Spider-Man and be really annoying, so whatever. Magic is decently, she can be overpowered at times. She's a little bit annoying to fight, and that's really all it is with her. And so anyways, there's just a bunch of characters that can one-shot you, and then there's a bunch of other characters that cannot one-shot you. That's a problem. So they're gonna have to balance some of these characters a little bit more because some of them are just clearly not that good. But for the most part, I would actually say for a game that's new and came out with this many characters that feel this different from one another, some of these characters are clearly a gimmick compared to others in a couple of ways. But for the most part, a lot of these characters are pretty legitimate. You can make most of them work in a lot of your matches. Again, characters like Jeff, he's definitely the best healer in the game outside of Mantis. Some people do Luna Snow, but yeah, no one knows that freaking character's name. But anyways, it's weird. And Cloak and Dagger, the freaking Aryan princess who's a race mixer, she's a really good healer too. So compared to the other healers, they're just not as good. But even the other healers that are kind of behind those healers, those core healers, even they are pretty good. So, I mean, like Loki's a healer, and he's pretty decent. I've seen people do really well with him. So it's interesting because the game feels a little bit imbalanced with certain characters, but in a weird way, the game's actually relatively balanced, despite how everyone's clearly on a certain tier list from one another. So I'm a little bit impressed with the amount of balance there is to characters. But like Wolverine feels like trash, but some people make Wolverine work. So it's really strange. like, again, certain characters are clearly worse, but there's something weird about the balancing that they did for this game that they really made it work in the end. So I'm just impressed about that, because it's one of those, we don't see this with a lot of games, this level of balance. And even though clearly some characters are better, like Thor's clearly better than certain tanks in the game, but like including Captain America, I mean, he's just a really good freaking character. And so many times I'm able to just like 1v2, 1v3, 1v4 with Thor. He's freaking insane, bro. It's just a great I'm gonna be so sad when they freaking nerf him. But, you know, he's a little bit wonky sometimes to use. There are certain attacks that you will use with characters like Thor that you're like, no, that totally hit the enemy, and for some reason it missed, right? You will deal with that on and off and on and off again. It's really annoying. I don't know what it is, but some of the abilities, they kind of clip incorrectly as far as I'm concerned. So, I mean, objectively, there are times I use my dash here and it doesn't contact the enemy, which is like, no, I saw it hit him. That's retarded, but whatever. So, I think they're going to patch some of that. They're going to work around some of the kinks of these characters, and once they do that, they're going to be nerfing characters like Thor. They're going to absolutely do that at the same time, but whatever. It is the way it goes. So anyways, man, music's great. Level design, I really like the levels. There's actually a good number of maps in this game, and I enjoy playing on the levels. There's destructible walls and environments in the levels too. So as you're using your abilities, you will be destroying walls, which is a really nice touch to this game. I mean, entire buildings will crumble depending on the character that you're using. Like Squirrel Girl, she has explosive slingshot projectiles. And I have been using a character that's ranged, sitting on the second story of a building, firing down upon the enemy team. And then their Squirrel Girl just blasts the building apart. And I fall through and then I get eliminated. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like how you have the levolution, because levolution is something that we've lost for a long time now in games. And for whatever reason, it takes one of these games that's largely non-woke, largely, you know, it's a little woke, right? We've already discussed some of that. It's a largely non-woke game, clearly made by men who love just gaming, and this is made by some really passionate dudes, you can tell. The amount of respect that is shown to the Marvel characters and the property, it's insane. So anyways, great maps, great music. I mean, seriously, the music between, again, look at this illustration here. Yeah, we got illustrations for the end of a match. So it's just really cool. There are some really cool, good musical cues for the beginning and end of matches. They have a lot of they have musical beats for specific maps. And all of the musical beats are really decent. I mean, they're good to listen to. They get you kind of revved up. So, bro, they nailed it out of the park. Character design, ability design on the characters, maps, map design, right? With the levolution and also the flow of a map, it always feels good. I have nothing to complain about almost ever. I do. By the way, there's a funny ultimate ability that you can use with Jeff. He swallows people up. He goes underground. He creates a whirlpool, and then he swallows people up, and he can literally, so what literally happens is that you and the other players that you swallow up, including your allies and enemies, you can spit them out, or you can just hold them in for, I think it's 7 seconds, and you can literally yeet yourself off the map and get a bunch of kills on like 4 or 5 enemies if you swallow up that many, and you can literally send yourself sui bombing off the side of a map. Is one of the funniest things playing as Jeff. And sadly though, I think I do that in the next video here. It's not in this video. Yeah, I'm playing as Thor most of the time in this video because he's a lot of fun to play. So anyways, man, they do such a great job with all the overall design. There's one last thing about, again, the voice actors are great. I think there was another point I forgot to mention about the voice actors, but seriously, I'm just so impressed with them. They do a great performance. They do a great job selling the characters, and the writing's not terrible on them. It's not great either. I've already complained about some of that, but again, the writing's largely normal, largely okay, and some of it's funny. Now, I think some of it is movie lines, but that's okay. Some of the rest of it is actually authentic and organic to this game. And so certain characters obviously have communication between each other, and, you know, Loki and Thor and whoever else. And they have really good banter and dialogue. Yeah, right here, again, I'm Thor. I'm going freaking mano y mano with like 4 dudes. And again, bro, Thor is so good in this game right now. He's gonna be nerfed so hard, but anyway. And then there was that other point that I told, dude, talking about Thor just got me to lose my train of thought. But yeah, so what the frick was it? So yeah, maps, music, the characters and their banter and their dialogue, and then, oh shoot, it's on the tip of my mother effing tongue. There's something else. Man, it just, dude, again, all around, the design of this game is great. The healers, by the way, they're super overtuned, but the second, if they were to nerf the healers, nobody would play them. But right now, if someone's healing you, you're basically invincible. That's just a simple fact. That's how they did healers in this game, is that you're largely invincible, like actually invincible when you're playing, and you have a healer on you. Especially certain healers, they heal you, and you're just unkillable. You cannot die. Other healers, they'll heal you and you can die. So like Mantis, she's not that powerful as a healer, but Jeff, he's freaking overpowered. What the frick? And then I think Luna Snow, she's a mixture of, like, she does a lot of healing but not so much healing at the same time. So anyway, so oh, and you have heroes, by the way, that can fly, and that adds some verticality to fights. It's a little bit annoying. Storm, Iron Man, a little bit of Doctor Strange. They can fly. Really annoying to fight them. But, you know, there's part of me that likes it, part of me that doesn't like it. But for the most part, it's fine. They're so annoying to fight, but it adds an interesting level of difficulty to the matches and to the gameplay. So it's just, you have to counter build with certain, and that's what's really interesting, is that a lot of these characters do counter build each other. Like Scarlet Witch is really good against Jeff. Jeff is really hard to lock down unless you're using a character like Scarlet Witch or Cloak and Dagger. So it's interesting because certain characters are clearly good against other characters. Again, like, games like these are so difficult to balance, and they actually did a pretty good job, everything considered. But now, it does piss me off because there's certain ultimate abilities in this game that people can actually cancel out. You can actually cancel out, for instance, Thor. Going into your ultimate, you can actually body slam him and take him out of his freaking ultimate, which is like, bro, it's my ultimate, you know? Like, and there's so many characters like that where you go into their ultimate and then they get canceled by a freaking body slam ability or something similar, or like some kind of stun ability, and that's retarded. It's a freaking ultimate. Yeah, whatever. I don't know why they decided to make that a design decision, but here we are. So anyway, I think I forgot something, but there's just so many things that they did well with this game. I do love the fact that majority of the sexy women in this game are, and well, you know, women. The women are sexy, and they are white. I also love that too. I love the fact that they are white. So for some reason they don't have any cleavage. What the frick? But anyway, man. Yeah, there is another point that I forgot to mention, something about this game. Oh, there's also the team power-ups. So when you use certain characters, like, so what happens is that there's a certain character that will give other characters a buff. Now, you also get a buff, but like Hela gives Thor and Loki a specific buff if you're teaming up with each other. You've got other characters like Venom. He gives a buff to Spider-Man and Penny Parker, and they both get augments to their overall builds. And I think Luna Snow, as I understand, she gives a buff to, I think, Jeff and Namor, I think. So there's certain characters, they give a buff to other characters. Thor, by the way, he gives a buff to Captain America. And who's the other guy? Frick, it's someone else. Anyway. So different characters give each other buffs, right? And it's augments to your projectiles, to your abilities. They give you new abilities that you can utilize in combat that helps augment your overall kit. So it's really cool because you can get these team up bonuses and it really can increase your damage. It can increase your stats, or both. It can increase the amount of abilities that you can use. So I do like that. It's a weird thing where I don't think it's really overpowered, and I don't think it's meant to be. I mean, clearly it can help you a lot, but it's one of those interesting things where they try to reward synergies, and I think it's not much of a problem. Again, the balancing's pretty good for this game. I'm really surprised about that. I don't know what I think long term about a design decision like synergies, because I don't really like the idea of trying to force certain characters together, but for the most part, it works. It's not really a problem in the game, so I'm okay with it, overall speaking. So anyways, the last thing I have to mention about this game is also the matchmaking. For whatever reason, bro, listen, here's the simple fact. This game has insane, is it called power creep? I don't know what you call it, but this game has insane problems with the power swings of teams, okay? If you have a bad team, you just lose, because it is so easy to snowball in this game. The second that you have a team that is healing more than the enemy team and killing more than the enemy team, you are going to have a huge snowball effect. So even if you alone are a good player, if the enemy team just has 3 good players and your whole team for some reason sucks, and bro, you have no idea. Look at this right now. You have no idea, me playing as Thor, how many times I'm going 1v2, 1v3, 1v4 against the enemy team. And this happens so many times because for whatever reason, the matchmaker puts me on these horrible teams that literally, it doesn't matter where you are on the map. If you're on the objective, if you're a little bit ahead of your team, does not matter. No matter where you're at, you will just be given teams by the matchmaker. Even if you're playing ranked, the matchmaker's dog trash, okay? You will be put on teams. They're just built to lose. And this is why I hate multiplayer games. You are placed onto teams built to lose. You're placed onto teams where the people just suck. They're just bad at the game. So, you know, you have a player like me and I'll be leading the lobby, leading the match, but then I have the rest of my team and they're nowhere to be found. It's like, guys, you have no idea. This happens majority of the time when I play as Thor. I will be going 1v4, 1v3 against the enemy team, sometimes 1v5. I will be fighting half or more than half of their team. And then my team is nowhere within earshot. None of my healers are around me. None of my damage dealers are backing me up. It's just me against their entire team. And again, when you're going up against these guys and they're getting healed by their healers and they're dealing damage to you, there's nothing you can do. So it's so frustrating to play this game because the players are just retarded. They're actually retarded. And they all think they're freaking smart too, by the way. Everyone thinks they're a genius. This is a huge issue that's developed within a lot of multiplayer games, is that people just think that they're freaking geniuses. They think that they're smart and they think they're intelligent. Because nowadays, people cannot take it to be told that they're freaking retards. And they need to be told that they're freaking retards. But it's like, so many people nowadays, they blow wind up each other's freaking anuses, freaking buttholes, that no one's willing to tell freaking retards that they're retards. No, you're a freaking retard and you're bad at the game. You don't understand how to work with your team and how to back up your leading players. It's ridiculous. You know, most people don't play Thor like me, where they're leading most lobbies. Okay? And there's a lot of people who don't play that well, okay? If you're not playing that well, you play more defensively. If you have a leading player on your team, you freaking follow that guy and you help him clear out the enemy team. It's just as simple. But a bunch of people, they don't know how to play the game. They don't understand these simple, these simple aspects, or let's say these simple strategies of how you just play a multiplayer game. I don't know what it is, but people just do not understand the basics, the fundamentals, and it's so annoying to play. So anyways, it just pisses me off when I pick up this game and I play it, because the deeper I've gone into this game and the more competitive, the more serious you take a game, the more competitive that you get. Well, the more serious I've taken this game and the more competitive I therefore became, the more I've become pissed off with a lot of these lobbies, a lot of these players, and you just see how freaking retarded people have become, because people used to be better at games than this. I don't know what it is, but there's always been retards. But again, people have become even dumber. I don't know what it is. It might have something to do with ebonics. Anyways, we are sitting here and we are just having terrible players, and the matchmakers are terrible. Literally, I have teams of people who are feeding their head off. They can't do anything. Literally 4 to 5 other players, 6 players in total. So the 4 or 5 other players are just horrible at the game. They can't get kills, they can't do damage. And then there's me, and I'm the only guy, and I'm going 1v4. I'm getting glassed by the freaking enemy team because I don't have a team. So this happens, bro, in most of the matches. I think you have to play with a pre-made if you actually want to play competitively, which I hate freaking pre-made. Screw those. Again, give us solo queues. If you have a ranked game mode in a game, give your players solo queues. I don't want to have a freaking pre-made. I don't like pre-mades. They're just not that fun. I don't like it. Not a fan. So they need to give people like me, which is really, let's just face it, a good number of people, give us a freaking option for freaking solo queues. F you, Marvel, Disney. Anyway, not so much F you on everything else, but F you on that. So anyway, so it's really frustrating. Oh, and by the way, Magneto feels really weak in this game. What the frick? I mean, there are some characters that are really weak, but anyway, dude, it's just so frustrating. It's so, thigh gap, go uwu, by the way, biatches. Freaking take it. Thor's freaking hammer up your anus. Here, let me go to one of these matches earlier because I was wrecking like a mofo. No, actually, we can do some of these. Here, let's do one of these later in the video. But anyway, so the matchmaker will infuriate you. It will piss you off. But, if you play the game casually, you will have fun, but I don't think you can have fun with this game for long. And I really do mean it, because the deeper you go into this and the more you take it serious, you are going to be pissed off by the matchmaker because of how bad it is. And again, like, the power swings are insane. If you have just terrible enough players on your team, you will get stomped in a freaking match. There is no way that you can turn around a match if you have a bad team. If you cannot out heal or out damage the enemy team, you lost. You have no clue how many times I can mono the entire enemy team, like you're seeing right now in the footage. Like, I can be a menace to society. Their entire team is focusing me, bro. Like, it's 3 or 4 freaking players attacking me. Where's my teammates? Where's the backup? Why am I getting glassed? Where's my healer there? I am literally, it looks like around 3 to 4 people are focusing me. And then my teammates, what are they doing? How is it that half of the enemy team is literally focused on one player, and then the rest of your 5 teammates, they can't heal you, they can't help and damage anyone to support you? I don't know, bro. But these people, it freaking pisses me off. And that's the issue with a lot of multiplayer games, though, is that for some reason people are just so incompetent. And by the way, like, I do understand, like, there are characters who are powerful and there are characters who are really weak. I mean, bro, but okay. I mean, anyway, like, there's so many moving factors with all this. I've had terrible matches where if I'm not playing as Thor, I mean, because when you're playing on console, I really don't think this game, the ranged characters, I don't think they were made for console. And I definitely mean that. I think that the fine precision that you need with a lot of attacks is just not there. So I think that you definitely, if you're playing on console, you're going to want to either play the healers or the tanks. If you're playing on PC, then you can play as the damage dealers like Hawkeye, Black Widow, whoever else. But it's just like, you don't have the mobility with your thumbs and the precision with your thumbs to use the damage dealers. So that's another issue I have. I mean, that might be an issue with this game because I think other games don't have the same issue. But anyway, maybe not. I do wonder how well I could play as Black Widow or whoever else on PC. And I don't think I will ever play this game on PC, so I will never know. But I would like to know. I would be very interested in finding out. But outside of that, man, again, the matchmaker's annoying. It will screw you over. And once you're screwed over by the matchmaker and you have a bad team, there is no way of turning it around or coming back. You are just screwed. You are just going to lose. So I think that's all I have to say about the matchmaker. It's heavily disappointing. It really pisses me off. And it's the main reason why I'm thinking of just quitting. Like, I literally I like this game and I got addicted to this game. But the issue is that the matchmaker, it literally made me want to multiple times uninstall the game. And also just the fact that I'm playing on console and I can barely make the ranged characters work for myself. That's also an issue. So it makes me want to just drop the game. And you have no idea, bro. Really, more than anything, it's the fact that when you're playing in a lobby, you're playing in a match, and you're going up against the enemy team. Their healers are turning every target that you attack invincible, right? For instance, I'm trying to attack, let's say, Hawkeye, but he's being healed, and my team they're applying no pressure. They're doing no healing on me, or very minimal before they go down, right? Your team is just simply worse than the enemy team, right? It is so frustrating when you play as a damage dealer. Let's say you're not terrible, right? Let's say I'm having a good day as like some random ranged character. The issue with this game is that when you are being outplayed by the enemy team and your team's terrible, you're going to have a terrible time because everyone on the enemy team is invincible. Because the healers are not going down, that's number one. And number two, because the healers are not going down, or because there's no pressure coming from your team, you're going 1v5. Which means you're never going to kill anybody most of the time. And even when you are able to get into combat, you will get nuked. You will get one shot. And literally, playing as Thor, one of the tankiest characters in this game, bro, you will get nuked, because that's how it works in this game. Once a team is just simply better than the other team, you will just cream through the lobby. I mean, the ability in this game for you to just completely stomp on the enemy team if you're just slightly better is insane. So the amount of snowballing that happens in this game is absolutely unbelievable. And it's one of those things that, again, it's a part of the reason why I've wanted to uninstall this game already. It's a part of the reason why I don't care to play this game long term. And this is the reality, man. If a game applies a lot of fatigue onto you, you're not going to play that game for a long time. Yeah, right here, by the way, you start seeing these guys on the enemy team. They're getting upset at each other and they're saying stupid Ebonics crap. I have a whole rant as I'm playing this game right now. I could unmute myself and you can hear me rant. Anyways, bro, I cannot stand Ebonics. That's a whole other conversation. We're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to. But there is a very long rant to be had about Ebonics. How people think they're freaking smart when they bastardize the English language. And I don't know what it is, bro, but you have so many illegals now playing these freaking games. People who cannot even freaking speak English. And it's like, why the frick are you on a North American server? Screw you and screw your existence. You should go back to your effing country, go back to your country's freaking server, get off English speaking servers. Speak the mother effing language of the region that you're playing on. Because people will sit there, they'll be like, hey there, player, can you do this? Or hey, can you pick this character? And then the guy is like, what? He says it in his language, what? And you're like, you know, he'll say like, papa si, whatever, blah, 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 Spanish, something, who cares? He'll say some retard stuff in Spanish, and you're like, you freaking moron, you're on a freaking American server. America, by the way, white people, by the way, America, English-speaking country, screw you, you freaking invasive assimilator. Deportation immediately for your freaking loser biatch on news. Screw you. Anyways, you know, we just gotta call up ICE and clean up these people, but anyway, screw these freaking retards. You speak the freaking English language, you freaking clowns. Seriously, these people need to be deported immediately. But outside of that, yeah, so anyways, just the matchmaker, you have a lot of retards in here, a lot of minority gamers, EBT gamers, and they are very annoying to deal with. They're complete retards, and they think that they're freaking geniuses, but that's most minorities. They think that they're freaking geniuses, but it's like, okay, then why are your freaking societies still in teepee huts? And it's literally based upon whether or not the white man gives you millions and billions of dollars, like to Africa, for instance. The only reason that Africa is a developed any form of a developed nation today is because of all the millions and billions that a bunch of white people have given to Africa. It's the only reason why, and also Jewish, let's just face it. Anyways, so it's just like, these freaking retards, they think that they're freaking geniuses, but it's like, no, if you guys were the ones running your countries, they'd be complete stinkholes. Oh wait, that's also what happens already, because that's why you're going to places like the EU and America and screwing up those countries with your crappy language, your crappy culture, and your crappy ethics, and your crappy, again, your language. Screw your language. Speak freaking English, the superior language. Screw you. Anyway. So anyways, yeah, the matchmaker is trash. It upsets me. The players are freaking retards, and that's a whole other conversation. I could go on a very long rant about it. I go on to the rant in my playthrough here, or my gameplay, whatever. There's a very extensive rant about all this. It pisses me off more than anything. Again, America is a freaking invaded country. It is a country under freaking siege, and freaking Americans are such freaking retards. They're like, oh, it's brave and beautiful that no one speaks the same language. Have you tried to solve a problem with someone that doesn't speak your language? Have you ever tried that, you freaking retard? Because the amount of times I see people try to freaking fix a problem with some freaking retard that doesn't speak their language in their country. Yeah, it works so great. Multiculturalism, you freaking tard. Go screw yourself, freaking morons. Jeez Louise. Freaking pathetic libtards, man. All of them. And that includes the conservatives, because they also think that multiculturalism is a brave and beautiful thing. Screw you, you freaking uni-party losers. Love of God. No, I mean, uni party freaking. Okay, you know what? I'll keep it to myself. All right. Anyways, the Uniparty. I can't freaking stand these freaking imbeciles. They're all throwing their freaking country away, and they all act like it's brave and beautiful. Well, guess what happens? The more that you get your way and you get your brave and beautiful multiculturalism, you won't have a country left to freaking moralize anyone over, or to talk about right and wrong on anything. And this is the thing. Okay, this is a part of the rant I had when I was playing this game, while I was playing over this. If you do not believe in your country, your history of your country, when you do not believe in your history, which means believing in your language, believing in your past, which means your race, your ancestry, when you do not believe in these things, you do not have a right. And also that includes when you do not also believe in what a man or a woman is. You do not have the right. You do not have the business speaking upon anything. You deserve to be absolutely silenced. That's number one. And number two, you have no business and no right communicating to anybody about right and wrong, because you do not believe in the fundamental premises of civilization. If you do not believe in the fundamental premises of civilization, oh yeah, there's Jeff right there just yeeting himself. Anyways, if you do not believe in the fundamental premises of civilization, then you have no business talking about right and wrong. And right now today, you have a bunch of libtards and right-wing tards who want to talk about right and wrong, but they don't believe in what makes their country. They think that if you're Hispanic and you speak freaking Spanish and all this freaking nonsense, that you're American. No, America was a bunch of white dudes from England and also the rest of the European diaspora coming over to the Americas and screwing over the freaking Native Americans. They were savages, by the way. Keep that in mind. So screw those guys. Anyways, we civilized them and we made their freaking society, sorry, not society, but we made the region better. They were doing a terrible job. Screw them. So anyway, at the end of the day, these people do not believe in their country, and they think they have a right to talk about right and wrong, when they sincerely do not believe in any fundamental premises that has any. Yeah, look at Hawkeye, by the way. He two-shot me, basically. Well, it was a three-shot, but again, Hawkeye's freaking powerful. It's crazy. He can annihilate tanks, anybody. It's crazy. Outside of that, yeah. So anyways, these people though, they act like they care about anything. They act like they believe in anything, but it's like, okay, but you don't have a country anymore. And again, being American is not just being whatever the frick you want it to be, because that means that, you know, and this is the thing, man, Your dog today is a freaking American. Everyone has become so American that your freaking animal, your cat, is a freaking American now. American means absolutely nothing today. And by the way, this is what will destroy a country. This is what has destroyed nations, Greece, Rome, go down the list. Once you lose your nationality and your national identity, which is also racial, once you lose this as a civilization, as a country, you lose everything. And of course, we never vilify egalitarian ethics because we always act like they're the good guys, that you're a good guy when you are an egalitarian. No, egalitarianism has always destroyed civilization. It's always killed societies. So anyways, freaking libtards, go screw yourselves. You will literally be the death of America. So screw you. Again, so many men died for the country, and then freaking clowns come in and they're like, oh, let me just completely invasively assimilate this country. And then the freaking cucktards from the white population of America, they're like, oh yeah, just take our country, who cares? It's brave and beautiful, we're so diverse, and we need to be tolerant because that makes me a more sensitive and sensible individual. Screw you and your sensibility, your credibility, whatever the frick you think that qualifies you, F yourself. Anyways, that's the end of my rant. That's the end of me just talking about this game. Listen, bro, you should pick it up. It's fun. Now, I don't think you're going to want to play this game for long. I think that this is a game you're going to get pissed off with pretty soon. The deeper you go into it and the more competitive you get. But you can have a good, like, I would say 10 hours with this game before you want to uninstall.